Go!
Hello everyone! Our team is going to talk about the Philippine literature, of how well do the people in the Philippines know about their history from a pre-colonial period up to contemporary modern period.
Characteristic of pre-colonial period. Under that we have simple and bucolic, like alamat ng pinya. They actually show here the relation of Filipinos back then. They were lazy at first and sooner. They became slaves to the colonizers. They have a saying, sana tubuan ka ng maraming mata para makita mo ang hinahanap. We can relate this, how Filipinos must open their eyes on what the colonizers are doing.
I have some book talks for you. Are you ready? So, maling kalabit, may buhay na kapalit. Okay, next. Maliit na bahay, puno ng patay. Okay, last one is, nagtago si Pedro, nakatubas ng ulo. Thank you!
The bugtong or riddles. It is traditionally used during a funeral wake together with other games such as tong-its or the more popular sakla. Later, generations use bugtong as a form of a pastime or as an activity. It is also a statement or a question or a phrase having a double or veiled meaning, put forth as a puzzle to be solved.
Here are the examples of salawikain. Kung ano ang puno, siya ang bunga. Or in English, whatever the tree, so will its fruit be.
Salawikain or proverb and maxim in English. The additional connotation of wisdom being passed down from your ancestors, which is a beautiful way to think of proverbs. The Filipino culture is a very pragmatic and resigned one that assumes hardships, but also assumes ultimate victory once that hardships is survived. And this is one of the examples of Tanaga. Kalikasan, ganito nga ang hangin, simoy nalalanghapin, pilit panatilihin para sa buhay natin. Lastly, the Tanaga is a type of Filipino poem consisting of 4 lines with 7 syllables, each with the same rhyme at the end of each line.
I'm going to play a song and you will guess what kind of song it is. Do you know the song is?
Hindi ko alam, wala akong idea.
The song is Ambahan.
Bahan or courtship. Many pages of sweet flowing romances has been written about courtship, but the Mangyans create their own by using the examples of budding and flowering plants and trees around them.
First is this picture. Next is this picture. And last one is this picture from Do you know what is this literary piece? This one.
No.
This is the story about Alonsina and Tungkong Langit. In folk tales, we have fables, myths, legends, fantastic stories, and epic. First is the legends. Tungkong Langit and Alonsina, one of the stories about the creation of the world, which the old people of Panay, especially those living near the mountains, do not tire relating, tells that in the beginning there was no sky or earth, only a bottomless deep and a world of mist. Next is epic. Epic. These are the narratives of sustained length based on oral traditions revolving around supernatural events or heroic deeds. And the examples are Lamang, Daulalim, Labaw Dongon, and Bantugan.
Spanish colonization of the Philippines started in 1565 during the time of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, the first Spanish government general in the Philippines. Literature started to flourish during his time. The continues unabated until the Cavite Revolt in 1872.
To ask some question to my tita about Spanish colonization, and I'm with her right now. Unang tanong, ano ito?
Pasyon yata, ayan.
Tama. Ay itong kasunod.
Sinakulo.
Okay, then next.
The Passion is a Philippine epic narrative of the life of Jesus Christ. Focus on his passion, death, and resurrection. In stanzas of 5 lines of 8 syllables each, the standard elements of epic poetry are interwoven with a colorful dramatic theme. The uninterrupted recitation or pabasa of the whole epic is a popular Filipino Catholic devotion during the Lenten season and particularly during Holy Week. Sinakulo is a Lenten play that depicts events from the Old and New Testaments related to the life, sufferings, and death of Christ.
Next, I'm going to play a song and you will guess what kind of song is. Do you know the song?
Ano iyan? Hindi ko alam.
This is Awit of Ibong Adarna.
Awit, colorful tales made by chivalry for singing and chanting. Originally sung by Ibong Adarna.
Go. This is the line. I have to believe much in God because I know because my faith. Where this line came from? Give one.
Nationalistic propaganda period. We have No Limit Tangere. No Limit Tangere is an 1887 novel by Jose Rizal, one of the national heroes of the Philippines during the colonization of the country by Spain. In more than a century since its appearance, Jose Rizal No Limit Tangere has become widely known as the great novel of the Philippines, a passionate love story set against the ugly political backdrop of repression, torture, and murder. The Noli, it is called in the Philippines, was the first major artistic manifestation of Asian resistance to European colonization, and Rizal became a guiding conscience and martyr for the revolution.
Colonial period. The Filipino revolutionists won against the Spaniards who colonized for more than 300 years. June 12, 1898 raised the Philippine flag as a symbol of our independence. General Emilio Aguinaldo was selected the first president of the Philippine Republic, but this was short-lived.
It's from American colonization period. Do you know what type or what book did Paz Marquez Benitez wrote?
Ay, hindi eh. Sino ba yan?
Dead Stars is a short story of an over 30 years old bachelor, Alfredo Salazar, who was about to get married to his fiancée Esperanza. His love and passion for his fiancée started getting fade as he was attracted to another woman named Julia Salas. As Alfredo knew that his family will disapprove his desire of having another woman, and wanted to be married with Esperanza and started his own family. Later, after 8 years, Alfredo went on a business trip to Julia's place. In his visit to Julia, to his surprise, he recognized that he no more felt attracted to her anymore. He compared his love for her as dead stars, his memory of a long way to get a girl he thought he loved.
Si Paz Latorena.
The Small Key is a Filipino short story by Filipino author Paz Latorena. It is about Soledad, a woman in her mid-20s who is married to a man named Pedro Buhay. They live in a hut within a prosperous farm away from neighbors. Soledad looked at the beginnings of an abundant harvest with familiarity and discontent.
Do you know who's the author of this book? In Footnote to Youth by Jose Garcia Villa, Dodong asserts his supposed maturity and marries Taeyang at the age of 17. He thinks they are old enough to take on this responsibility, but after they have several children, they both bemoan the dissolution of their young and the dreams that came along with it. Taeyang wonders how things could have been if she'd married another of her suitors. And then Dodong's son Blas approaches his father wanting to marry at about the same age. Even though Dodong doesn't want Blas to make the same mistake he did. However, history ends up repeating itself. Do you know who's the author of this book? A Child of Sorrow by Zoilo Galang. The story revolves around two lovers, Rosa and Lucio, who had undergone a lot of tribulations in their relationship. They were torn between fighting for their love of complying their responsibilities to their parents. Besides, there was Oscar who gave several quakes to their strong ties. Until one night, Oscar raped the beautiful Rosa. She was helpless that time like a gazelle in the teeth of a lion. The two Rosa and Lucio say goodbye to each other with Rosa couldn't move on and wept always every day, and Lucio drowned himself in paperwork, books and all. At the end, Rosa died.
Liwayway, Tagalog word meaning dawn, is a leading Tagalog weekly magazine published in the Philippines since 1922. It contains Tagalog serialized novels, short stories, poetry, serialized comics, essays, news features, entertainment, news and articles, and many others. In fact, it is the oldest Tagalog magazine in the Philippines. Its sister publications are Benawag, Bisaya Magazine, and Hiligaynon.
As I was reviewing my life that I have been in many conflicts, too many wars, political battles, military battles, civil strifes in governments. Always one lesson stands out, and that is that those whom you fight most passionately often turns out to become your best friend.
Martial law in the Philippines refers to the several intermittent periods in the Philippine history wherein the Philippine head of state places an area under the control of the armed forces of the Philippines and its predecessor bodies. Martial law is declared either where there are near violent civil unrest or in a case of major natural disasters. However, most countries use a different legal construct like state of emergency. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, go. Typically, the imposition of martial law accompanies curfews and suspicions of civil law, civil rights, habeas corpus, and the application or extension of military law or military justice to civilians. Civilians defying martial law may be subjected to military tribunals.
I would rather die a meaningful death than to live a meaningless life, Cory Aquino said.
The People Power Revolution, the EDSA Revolution in the Philippines, was a series of popular demonstrations in the Philippines, mostly in Metro Manila, from February 22 to 25, 1986. There was a sustained campaign of civil resistance against regime violence and alleged electoral fraud. The non-violent revolution led to the departure of Ferdinand Marcos and the end of his 20 years presidential rule, and the restoration of democracy in the Philippines.